Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. I'm telling you, another week has gone by and we're getting ready to start our day of rest here at the homestead. And I'm definitely, I'm anxious for that because it has been a super busy week. Just been every day, sun up to sunset, going. So I'm looking forward and a little excited for a day of rest. I want to give a quick shout out and thanks to all of you that are helping out with our fundraiser for our fire station that we're rebuilding and manning. I know some of you still may be a little confused. Basically, our team is now providing pretty much most of the, if not all of the emergency medical response to our district. Fire department was just too small to really do that. And so we've moved in and are part of the fire department and are doing that. And so there's not really any budget. And the fire station we run out of was in desperate need of help. And so we've been working on that. And I just want to thank all of you for doing that. Also, some of you that work for larger fire departments and EMS agencies have sent some of your excess medical supplies. And that is a super big help too, because when we go out on calls, anything we use from BVM bags to, bandages, anything like that, we have to provide for ourselves. I'm about ready to get run over by a dog. You'll see her here in a second. And so we have to provide our own stuff for that because there's just not any budget for us to even get medical supplies. So that kind of stuff is very helpful. I mean, even down to like a box of gloves, it's super helpful. So if any of you are in that kind of position, you're welcome to email me and we can work something out if you have an agency that would just like to donate a bag or a box or something like that of some random medical supplies. That would be very helpful. And then for the rest of you, I know you get tired of these long intros. For the rest of you that may not have access to that kind of medical supplies, we've set up a gift registry. Here, let me see. That may make you happy for a little bit, okay? That's Yovel. She's still just kind of a pup, but she's a good dog, even though she's a little crazy sometimes. Anyways, for the rest of you that would like to just help out with those medical supplies, we've set up an Amazon gift registry because a lot of those medical supplies you can get on Amazon. And so you can go there and you can pick out stuff and purchase them and it'll be sent to us. I'll leave a link in the description. She's about to knock the camera over. There she goes. She's going to run off now. I'll leave a link in that down below in the comment section if you want to. And, there's some items on there that are just a few dollars a piece and all the way up to more expensive items. You can buy multiples, whatever. But thank you so much. And I assure you that the people that we're able to respond to for medical aid to kind of fill that gap in between the 911 call and an ambulance coming from sometimes many miles away. We have the county we live in is about 1,200 square miles, and generally speaking, there's only ever about one ambulance on duty at any given time. So the response times for ambulances can be very long. And so we're part of that team that moves in very quickly to at least stabilize and give, basic airway type care. I'll go into more detail in another video someday. And so I want to just a huge thanks. The chief of the department thanks you. Everyone on it thanks you. And I'm sure even though they don't know it, many of them, the people in this community would thank you if they could. Anyways, excuse me. I think I've got a little bit of a cold. It's been coming and going, and this morning I felt like I had an elephant sitting on my face and got the nasally drip thing going on, but I don't think it's too bad. Anyways, all this stuff that's going on, the Biden, the Putin, the Tucker Carlson, the border, a bunch of other stuff. I'm not saying it's not real. It's all real as far as you and I can tell, right? But there's other things going on, and I just want to give you a little bit of a warning on that. And I think part of that is the economic stuff, okay? The economy, the dollar, the banking. Should probably keep your eyes on that. The S&P 500 broke records today, I believe, or at least in quite a while. That's, if you play the market, that could be a really good sign for you. But if you're looking long term with all the other stuff going on, that may not be a good thing. JP Morgan Chase, that was it. JP Morgan Chase said that basically we're never going to get inflation down to what would be considered normal levels around 2% without some kind of basically hard-hitting recession. That we're going to have it, or we're just going to have to live with these high inflated prices. Janet Yellen's been saying some stuff that kind of indicates that things aren't quite as rosy as they have portrayed over the last several months or few years. There's been a lot more job layoff announcements, and these are some big ones. Cisco is announcing thousands of people laying off all over the place. There's just a lot of pretty large companies. What was it, a few days ago, a week ago, UPS announced, over 10,000 people being laid off there. A lot of businesses shutting down, a lot of branches of banks being shut down. We're also getting reports that places like China and others are continually purchasing gold at pretty much record rates. And just last night with the Putin interview with Tucker Carlson, he made comments about the U.S. dollar and how it's just used to weaponize. That's the only thing that people kind of acknowledge of the United States around the world anymore is the dollar, and that is soon failing. And part of that reason is folks like Saudi Arabia and Egypt and others have joined the BRICS, economic group or whatever you want to call it, and they're now trading in other currencies, the yen, the yuan. Even the ruble, the Russian ruble is being used in various forms of trade. And so we're watching America get pretty banged up and weak when it comes to economic stuff. This is not a surprise. Unless you just woke up yesterday for the first time in your life, you're not surprised at this, right? The point that I'm getting at, though, is with all this other stuff, Biden's feebleness and inability all of a sudden to be president, which we knew that long before he even became president. We've already known that kind of stuff. All this other things that's happening, it's not really a surprise, right? Well, neither is this economy stuff. It's not a surprise. When we're talking about, and I don't eat this stuff, but just basically seeing stuff in the news that, going to McDonald's is $15-18 now. I saw something the other day that a pretty much plain Jane footlong sandwich at Subway was like $11-12. The prices of stuff are just ridiculous. And you're hearing people, regular people that aren't, the prepper, doomer, gloomer, political people, just regular people now really starting to comment about how it's too expensive to live. You can't do anything. There was something going around today of people paying for new vehicles or vehicles that are a year or two old, that their car payments are like $3,000 a month. $3,000 a month for a car payment. My goodness, that's crazy. For when this was like a truck and an SUV, two Chevys. It's $2,800 to $3,000 a month. When we're getting to those kind of levels, we're real close to watching Rome just collapse. We're on the verge, I think, of watching a major economic collapse. I could be completely wrong, but I think that's what we're on the verge of watching and seeing. And so I want to remind you, make sure it's kept kind of in the forefront of your focus, that while there's all this other stuff going on, the border crisis, the Trump-Biden campaign, who's going to get indicted next, and is Biden going to make it to the election, and who's going to take his place, and when's the war in the Middle East going to crack open real big, or in Europe or China or North Korea. All those things are important. And all those things at this point could happen pretty quickly. Pretty much none of them you could stand here and make an argument that there's no possible way that they could happen within the next few weeks or the next few months. Any one of them, I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying that any one of them are in a place that they could dramatically get worse in a very short amount of time. But you don't hear a whole lot of people talking about the money, economic, banks, dollar kind of stuff too much anymore. And I just want you to know that that's in the end, that's kind of like the glue that holds all this other garbage together. and it's getting pretty bad. And people are getting to where they just can't exist. Now, of course, they could cut back in their lifestyles and all that kind of stuff, but the fact that the American people have been so used to a very comfortable, lavish lifestyle, and now they can't, and they don't know what to do. You know, young people can't afford to live on their own. I saw something the other day that it's something like 50% now of people between 18 and 25 or 30, it was a pretty ridiculous number, are now living with their parents. Like, they moved out and they came back because they can't afford it. And I don't think all of them are just, you know, losers that won't get a job and all that. I think a lot of them, it's really tough. I mean, we've got adult young people, we've got children that are in their 20s, and they all work. They all work hard. I'm proud of every single one of them. Our older children, they are hardworking kids. They really are. They're not these stupid kids out doing stupid things. And it's hard on them. They don't live in expensive, areas. They don't live lavish lifestyles. And it's hard for them. So I understand. It's hard for any of us. And this is all, it's a big house of cards, and it's been a house of cards for a long time, but more and more little cards are being removed from that big tower that's been built. And I think we're getting pretty close to that final card being pulled and the whole thing come crashing down. And when you just start to see things being discussed of how, the Federal Reserve chairman is saying that this level of debt and this economy, the whole financial system of the United States government is unsustainable. Well, if it's unsustainable, then what's the solution? To let it all collapse, wipe the slate clean, say it's all done, the dollar's done, and then just somehow reset it back to zero? Because if it's unsustainable, there's no way to start paying back, $34-35 trillion in debt. And when you look at the projections that in the next 20-30 years that it could be over $100 trillion in debt, I mean, that's just, you can't even wrap your head around it. So you and I need to be getting ready for this. We need to be really stocking up, preparing, but we also need to be coming up with some financial preparedness plans. That's going to be different for everyone. Moving your investments around if you have them, or your savings around, or purchasing things that you're going to need to live off of, or moving money into, precious metals, or, semi-precious metals like brass and lead, or whatever it is. You better be doing it, because it doesn't look like we have too much longer. Folks, it's time to get your houses in order and to prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.